If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is November the 6th, 2023, and today the topic is the road less traveled. Happy Monday. Yes, happy Monday. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine, man. Quick recap over my weekend. Saturday was cool. It was rather chill after I did the juice. But one thing that did happen yesterday is your girl did a pop-up. Yes, I did a pop-up episode for my friends over there at Mom Bomb, showing off their holiday collection and everything like that. So if you missed it, go onto their platforms and look it up. But regardless on if you go and see that, you always can go visit Mom Bomb at actressmiraclesims.com and get you some nice treats, either for yourself or for others. All right? Great cause, great organization. So happy to be a part. And look, even called the face this year of Mom Bomb. So, yeah, man, go check them out. Go check them out. Yeah, outside of that, for Saturday, what else? Nothing really of significance, I think, to share. I'm trying to think now. Yes, Saturday was low-key. I don't remember too much going on. Yesterday, y'all know it's a Sunday, so it's a full day of activities. First, working my 3 shifts and whatnot. Then helping out with the Christmas performance, which our son is featured in a couple of times. I'm praying that he does as well on show day as he's doing rehearsal and everything like that. The other kids are doing well as well, so shout out to them. We need to get them some information so they can just go ahead and rehearse at home. That's a whole week last week wasted, so hopefully they getting the video to them and stuff like that, because yeah, look, showtime is around the corner. They made it the first Sunday in December, so yeah. And then we also made the announcement to the other kids that, hey, y'all part of the show too. So learn these lyrics. So yeah, we're going to see how this whole thing pans out and whatnot. But I'm sure it'll be great. But we'll see. Yesterday, I had an interesting conversation that actually I was thinking about once I started to write down the verses this morning. I woke up this morning early, actually. And I know I'm recording rather late. At least it's 7:50 on the dot at the moment. And yeah, I guess what led to this conversation this morning is, I listened to the prayer meditation, and then the phrase, the road less traveled came into my heart and mind. And so I started to look that up. Turns out it's like a line in a poem by Robert Frost, and then it's also a whole book. Obviously I didn't go read the book, but I did read the poem and everything like that. And then obviously I looked up Bible centered around this idea of the road less traveled. The Bible verses that I came across at openbible.info were good, but your girl was going back and forth with sleep. So again, I don't know if it, was the distraction or just allowing me to get some rest so I can come here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. But either way, the juice is coming out, even though it might be late, and hopefully it will be encouraging and inspiring to you this morning or whenever you listen. All right? So, let's get into this conversation, y'all. The road less traveled. When I thought about the conversation I had yesterday, I guess I just was reminded, even if my own life, right? That there's a lot of times that we come to a place where we're feeling like we're at a crossroad, right? Or there's times where we feel like, man, I don't know which way to go. And I would say I mean, even though I know I was in this place earlier this year and I was telling y'all all about it and was like, I don't know, there's options and different doors are open. Which one am I supposed to do? X, Y, and Z. And I do believe that I made the best decision, and everything. But at the same time, and I feel like, and the interesting thing is too, the prayer meditation this morning was all about trust and trusting God and things of that nature. So I'm like, again, I think this all coincides with this conversation, but yeah, I mean, I feel like my trust is getting better. I feel like, okay, Lord, I trust you, right, with my life, my relationship, my money, my, whatever, I feel like I trust God, but at the same time, too, like when different things come your way, you like, or maybe you see changes happening or whatever, stuff like that, you start to wonder, like, which way to go, or can I fully trust the Lord? Those doubts or things might come into our hearts and minds. So hopefully we'll, be encouraged and inspired to keep on, keeping on, as they say, keep on trusting the Lord, and no matter what it looks like, because sometimes, again, things may look different from what you thought, right? But it'll be right what you need, and everything like that. Look, I would say my husband was that way, but but no, it wasn't like he was completely different from what I thought I would, receive or something like that. But, I told y'all all the time, when I looked at my ex and I looked at my now husband, I could clearly see the difference between what I quote unquote wanted versus what I quote unquote needed and things of that nature. But we're not just talking about relationships this morning. We're just talking about in general. At the end of the day, again, fit this into your life. Like, are you at a crossroad? Are you at a place where you're like, which way do I go? What do I do? All of this type of stuff. Well, here goes some Bible that I hope will encourage and inspire you. These are the verses that stood out this morning. Jeremiah 6:16. It says, "Thus says the Lord, stand by the roads and look and ask for the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it." So that sounds like the good news and then the bad news, right? The good news is God said there is a good path, right? There is a good way, and you can walk in it and get rest. That sounds like great good news. But the bad news is we often choose not to do that. We straight up refuse. We say we will not walk in it. Again, sometimes, the path may look different. The path may require you to change, right? Whether it's change everything about yourself or just change your mind about whatever it is, or just, again, trusting God with it, right? Just saying, hey, you know what, Lord, I'm going to trust you with this and go the way you want me to go. I found freedom in that. I found rest in that and everything like that. But at the same time, too, I still, struggle. I'm still human out here. I'm still wondering, well, what does this mean and stuff like that. And we all try to figure out what the next day gonna bring, right? Even though the Bible tells us clearly, don't do that. It say, don't do that. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. But we often do that, man. We go to the soothsayers. We go to the cards. We look through those little games on Facebook to get a sneak peek at our future, right? And yeah, I mean, on one hand, we think or wonder, right, that maybe we'll have a little bit more peace if we know what's coming. But I don't know. I don't know how true that is. Did I find peace in knowing what was coming? I don't know if there's even anything that I ever knew that fully was going to come. Like, I think, I ain't gonna lie, every now and then I might get a vision, right? Or maybe these dreams or something like that. And then I guess later on down the line, I feel the deja vu and whatnot. But I don't know if still I know fully what's coming in my life and stuff like that. But I guess I hope this encourages you and inspires you to not be like we be. To not be like that last part of that verse that says, we will not walk in it. God can be just with the signs and everything, showing you the good way, and we still refuse to walk that way because maybe it don't look easy, or maybe it's harder, or maybe we gotta change, or whatever the case may be. But one thing I saw today, I can't remember where I saw it. I think it might have been in the midst of me just looking up the road less traveled and the meanings and all that type of stuff. I didn't write none of that down. You guys can do that on your own if you feel let's do. But basically, I was reading something along those lines. It said that even though certain paths may be harder, it takes you to other levels spiritually that obviously I guess you wouldn't have been able to go if you didn't go the path. So there you go, friend. I hope that encourages you and inspires you. Let me give you guys another verse. Matthew 7:13 and 14. It says, enter the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Ooh, is this more Pope today? Is this bad news? I mean, look, it said the easy way is wide and all of that. But then obviously the narrow way is harder, but it leads to life. I mean, you know, everybody got to choose which way they want to go. A lot of times we want to go the easy way, you know, and stuff like that. And even as I was talking to my friends today, and you know, she kind of was asking the question like, how do you know which way God wants you to go, X, Y, and Z? And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I did give the example that, I mean, well, because I know what it's like to have closed doors in my life, when doors are open in my life, I'm like, okay, I see the door open, you know, and I'll be trying to go through. But then it does get difficult when you see multiple doors open, which again, I know that earlier this year was an example in my life of what that looked like. And then you really gotta, like, I guess, use your discernment and let God lead you on which way to go. Because again, they could all look appealing and all this different type of stuff. But I mean, so I guess you can't use the easy example as the way to choose. Again, you know, oh, this was easy, so that means that it was right. Maybe that may not always be. Actually, she said something along those lines yesterday. She was like, you know, what looks good way, or something along those lines of the easy way may not always be good, and then on the flip side, the hard way may not always be bad. And I mean, this is what the word is saying here, you know, in regards to the wide way versus the narrow way. Speaking of, man, anyone will never knows, this may not have anything to do with anything, or maybe they do, I don't know. But as an actor, you know, when you think about the different paths that an actor could be on, right? Like they either go with film or theater, different stuff like that. People have high hopes and dreams for this place called Broadway, and everything like that, right? It's the place in New York with all these different theaters, X, Y, and Z. But then I thought about it, I'm like, isn't it interesting that it's called Broadway? I don't know. I'm not saying that it's leading the path for destruction. I'm not saying that. But I just found it interesting because, like, there's plenty of translations in the Bible that says that broad is the way. I don't know. I just thought about it. Anyway. Don't use that as your discernment about whether you should go. I'm just saying that. I just found it interesting. But yeah. I mean, this is, I guess, examples, friends. I guess if you're going down a path that is ultimately, again, leading towards destruction, right? Ultimately, you know, again, it's easy access. You know what? Here's another example of this, y'all. You know, when you're living in sin, right? When you're not trying to do things God's way, the right way, and, you know, maybe your conscience is slowly dwindling, or you slowly not hearing God's voice and whatnot in your life, like, it's easy to get caught up into those type of things. You just do it. It's readily available to you. You know, you just keep going down the path. And then ultimately at some point you realize that you are paying a price that you didn't want to pay. And you getting deep into things that you didn't want to be in and all this type of stuff, right? It's easy to go that way. And then you find out how hard and rough it is at the end or towards the middle. And then you might change, right? And shift your life and to go back God's way. Or you might just keep on going down the path and it truly leads to destruction. Death of some way, whether it's spiritual death, physical death, death of your, you know, seed and future, whatever the case may be. But then again, on the flip side, you know, when you talk about the narrow path, you know, it might not be easy. You might have to give up some stuff. Again, listen, I done wrote all about my journey. So, you know, I ain't got to go too deep and keep telling y'all the testimony and stuff about what happened with me. But there was a lot that I had to give up. There was a lot that I had to change about my life. You know, there's a lot of things I had to do different. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm perfect now. I'm not perfect. Even if after I learned all the stuff and wrote down stuff, I still went down a path that probably was not for me in regards to, you know, who I ended up with and things that I was doing and things of that nature. But so it was rough, is what I'm saying. It was rough to kind of change and do something different and trust God with everything. It's like, Lord, you say you got me, but do you really? Because I see this thing happening, that thing happening. Even right now, I'm in the midst of like possibly some changes. Now, I ain't gonna lie now, I'm getting very, look, yeah, comfortable being content, I'm like, Lord, you done opened so many amazing doors. You got so many great things going, and X, Y, and Z. I'm feeling good about the things that I see happening in my life right now. But at the same time, knowing that, who knows, things might change, or I think I talked to y'all months ago about this possibility, like, of me and my family, like, leaving where we at and all this different type of stuff. Now, I wouldn't mind going to another house, but, a whole nother state, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I got so many things established here now. But at the same time, too, I do have a lot of things that are established virtually, so things like this and Juice and GSL and stuff, I guess nothing will change because I can still just do it wherever I'm at. But it still is a, place where I'm like, I'm a little bit like, I don't know, Lord, But at the same time, again, I have to, suppress my own little, quote unquote, thought and idea and say, well, you know what, Lord, I trust you, right? And I trust you to lead and guide my husband, and I trust you to lead and guide my life and everything like that. And if he wants to change things and make some things different, I got to be okay with that. That might not be easy. I share that example to say that that's not the easiest thing to do, right? Especially when you finally feel at peace and things like that. But, again, what I find in my life, again, is that the more I trust God with it, the more that, I can have what that first verse was mentioning, which is, what was it? The good way and rest for my soul. I got peace, hope, joy, love, all the fruits of the Spirit, and rest in the midst of these, quote unquote, tumultuous or turmoil or whatever the case may be, these situations that don't always feel good. So here go another verse. Y'all. It's Psalm 25:4. It says, wait, did I skip a verse? Let me go back and make sure. No, I did. Okay. So Psalm 25:4, it says, make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your path. Friends, I hope that you guys, make this your prayer today. At the end of the day, again, we all come to the crossroads. We all come to places where we don't know what's next and stuff like that. But like the prayer meditation was saying this morning, y'all, trust God, trust the Lord, allow him to lead and guide you. Be willing, right, to make the change and whatever sacrifice that is needed for you to make in order to trust God fully. And watch what he do with your life. Because, hey, listen, this has been Abundance 2023 and beyond for me. And the more I trust the Lord, I don't know. I can give y'all all the examples and stuff like that. But regardless of that, just think about this when it comes to your own life and what that looks like. What is God asking you to change? What is he asking you to do? And choose to go the good way, y'all, and not the opposite. Don't be that person saying we will not walk in it. Because, again, the path and the plan that he has for you is better than you can even imagine. So you can't even really ask for the plan that he has for you because you probably ain't even thought of it. It ain't even an idea for you. And then next thing you know, you living in it. And it's like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? I didn't even ask for this. This is so many beautiful blessings. So just saying, hope that encourages you and inspires you, y'all. Okay, the Bible verse of today is Colossians 4:5. It says, let your speech be always with your grace. Be always with your grace seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. This episode was sponsored in part by FaithfullyStyled.com. Show your faith in style and visit FaithfullyStyled.com, where faith and fashion meet to create truly unique apparel. you know what? I'm on their website now, and look, one of their shirts say, if you want to impress me, bring me Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. Oh, I love these. So order me one right now and visit faithfullystyled.com to get your apparel today.